in the fairest realm. Welcome. What is the fairest realm, you may ask? The fairest realm is my personal version of heaven on earth, which is me being here in my Elfin workshop with endless projects, endless creative opportunities, and the time and the space to play and try and experiment and explore. That feels like true abundance to me. So I want to share this vibration and broadcast this beacon from this heaven on earth, from this fairest realm. So in my personal version of heaven, because if we were to take the thought experiment of heaven, right? So we arrive in heaven and we realize that we have eternity. We are eternal beings. We have all the time in the world and then some. So then the question becomes, when you get to heaven, what are you going to do with yourself? What are you going to do with all this endless time and boundless energy and all of this creativity pouring through you? What are you going to create? What are you going to make? And to me, that's heaven, right? It's just all the time in the world, all the space to create and express on the outside what you feel on the inside. And in my personal version of heaven, fairies and humans are in full collaboration. We are in telepathic communication and communion, and we create together. And this is when we're really in the golden age. This is true heaven on earth. This is Avalon. This is Eden. This is the garden. When humans and fairies are back in right relationship. Because there was a time when we all were, and we're getting back to that. So that's what we're here to do. Tap into the fairy frequency, be our full selves, live this heaven on earth, activate our sacred imaginations to project the image of what our hearts know is possible. Because we all remember heaven. We remember it's a home frequency, and we can come back anytime. So here we are in the fairest realm. I'm going to pull a card to get us started. This is part 3 of our overalls. So the last couple days on these lives, we've been making this pair of linen overalls. And today I'm going to be doing the trimming and then the painting with the fabric paint. So it'll be a nice slow process day, and you can come along for the ride. Oh, thank you, darling. You have pretty eyes. Well, I will just look at you and say that right back to you. You have very pretty eyes. And how I know this is because the beauty that we can recognize in someone else is a reflection of a beauty that lives within us that we can't see without a mirror. So the eyes are that mirror back to each other. Real recognizing real. So my name is Faith. I'm a fairy, I'm an upcycler, I'm a stitch witch. I'm here in my Elfin workshop, taking you along the journey on my creative processes. So I'll be going live more often, probably a few days a week on a regular basis. So if you can't stay for the full thing today, just know that there will always be another time to drop into the Elfin workshop with me. You can have tea and we can just chat and play and share this frequency of heaven on earth. So this deck is called Herbal Astrology Pocket Oracle. And I really love the illustrations. A dear friend, gifted this to me recently. And the cards that I've been pulling from here have been super potent. And today the energy feels really potent. We're getting close to the lunar eclipse on August 27th. And I'm feeling it in my body, and I'm sure you all are too. So let's see what message for this group of people, this collective that's tuning in today or that's watching this across time and space. What is the message of the day Reishi. This is a card of retreat. This feels like a moment of pause, rest, rejuvenation. This is like the dream time when all the magic is birthed. Right? It's like we have to go to sleep and rest in order to dream. Okay, well, at the end of the live, I will do the little reading from the book. I'll share that. But for now, I'm just going to be marinating on the symbolism and the visuals that are already jumping out at me. And there's a bear here who looks like he's sleeping and dreaming of the mushrooms. So we'll see by the end of the day what kind of meaning that has taken on for us. But I wish this finds you all in a space of that rest and retreat and rejuvenation. So today's going to be hopefully just very relaxing and chill. Well, it will be because we say so. This is my little puppy boy, Mako. He's a very good company in the Elfin workshop. Okay, so returning to these overalls that we started these last couple days. These are now freshly out of the wash and dryer. So they are full of fraying. And this is what I'll be working on now, is trimming, doing the haircut. I'm gonna start down here on the floor. Let's see, okay. So I have all this now just to cut away. Very satisfying to cut off. So at this point, it's just a decision-making process of what to cut and what to keep. So if the fraying is kind of behaving nicely, like for instance, this has a nice little spin to it and it's creating like some fringe, right? Or some tassels. I'm gonna leave that because I think that looks really cool. But then there will be other parts where, you know, it just may look like too tangled and messy, or like just like like a big tangle. So I'm cutting off what I don't want, but trying to leave as much as possible. Oh, tarot card readers. I'm definitely not a reader at all. I just like to pull for myself. And I thought I would share with you. So I started this live by sharing how this experience that I'm in, my Elfin workshop, is my personal version of heaven. And that is because there's nowhere I'd rather be. There's nothing I would rather be doing. This is what I want to do with the rest of my foreseeable future. It makes me the happiest. It makes me the most fulfilled. And this being transforming clothing, reclaiming items of clothing and turning them into wearable art and talismans. And the fact that each piece is one of a kind, it keeps it so interesting for me. Like, there's no two pieces that are alike. And so I'm always learning and always growing. And that's what I love most. At the end of the day, that's what I'm here for. That's what I want out of life. So upcycling, creating wearable art, salvaging pieces, upcycling, repairing, patching, all of these things, they're all related to a deeper philosophy of living life in a way that nothing goes to waste and everything can be seen as beautiful or can be made to be beautiful through intention and creation. But there were many years of my life where I was not on this wavelength. I was doing something maybe I didn't really believe in, or just working a job for a title or for a salary. But these last few years, I've been on a path of getting to this point where I'm in the driver's seat of this reality and creating it and shaping it according to the desires of my heart, connecting with my purpose, like what lights me up, what do I feel like I'm here to do, and really, really doing that and showing up. So that's why I'm here on live, because I'm creating these garments anyway. I'm here in my Elfin workshop. But lately I've been realizing that there are probably many others out there like me. And so my intention is to broadcast this beacon and connect with fellow unicorns, fellow creatives who are here on a mission. And then as we find each other, we really light up the grid of the whole planet. And I was saying in yesterday's live about how when you express yourself in the way you dress, in the way you show up, that's when your fellow unicorns can find you. So that's another reason that I create what I call fairy fashion, which is very colorful and patchworked and has a lot of texture, because it is garments that say, here I am, I'm ready to be seen, I'm ready to take up space. So yes, I call fairy fashion like clothes for taking up space, right? Because it's something very unique. It's something that's a conversation starter, which is a good thing when you are trying to find your people. Oh, look at this one. This is a long fray here. It's like a little ponytail. I'm kind of tempted just to leave it. That's pretty cool. I mean, some of it may fall off on its own. Okay, maybe I'll take it down just a little. There we go. Okay, let me finish down here so I can get off my knees. I find that it's easier to do this trimming when a garment is hanging versus when it's flat. So I either like to put it on a hanger or put it on the dress form. Oh, that was a good one. So if you're just joining, we are upcycling a pair of overalls and I'm just giving them a haircut because they just came out of the wash and dryer. And that's what creates all this effect, which I think looks so cool. I hope you agree. Okay, I got the bottom. Now I'm gonna get a little more comfortable. So hi, if you're just joining, my name is Faith, and I am upcycling a pair of overalls. Feel free to ask any questions. We started making these a couple days ago, and we're just finishing them up now. The final haircut. So I'm leaving quite a lot of fray on these, just cutting off anything that's too unruly. Okay, I think these are just about done. Yes. Okay. So now I want to paint these up. So look, this is all the, this is what we just cut off of the overalls. I don't know if you can see all that. So we did good. We did some damage with the trimming. Now she's not quite as shaggy. Okay, so the only thing left to do is do some paint splatters. And so on the buttons for this side tab, so this will make it adjustable at the side. And I'm gonna add 2 different buttons, one here and one there, so that you can adjust. So Maybe I'll do the buttons first and then the painting. I don't know. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, so I've got my buttons here. Just need to pick out some thread. And maybe I'll just do it right on the dress form. Okay. What thread do we think? Oh, here's something cute. Okay, so these are the buttons that I picked out. So I have yellow and white for each side. And then, or sort of green, I guess. And then I have this iridescent embroidery thread. So maybe I'll do the green iridescence on the white button, and then the white iridescent on the green button. That would be so adorable. Just these little things that, well, they make me happy. You know, that's the whole point. I don't know if anyone else notices. Okay. Let's see, is this needle gonna fit? It's a big needle. Try this one. Scissors. Okay, hi everyone. If you're just joining, we're making a pair of upcycled overalls, and I'm about to attach some buttons to the side to make them adjustable. This was a pair of linen overalls, like white linen, beige linen, and I ice-dyed them. And they were pretty cute at that stage, but I wanted to push it further. So I just did all of this, which is adding the panels on the side, making them baggier, right? Extending the size, and then adding these patches for some color and some more interest to break it up a little bit. And I really, really like how they turned out. I did the tiniest bit of bleach distressing before I put them in the washer dryer yesterday. So you can see like just a little area got some distressed. I might even do it once more because I could push it further to be more faded, but I like it. Okay, so I'm gonna add these buttons. I'm gonna do one there and then one there. Okay. So yeah, basically just putting one right at the, oh, let's see if you can see that. Yeah, right on this seam here for the first one. Okay, hope I don't block you. Oh, you probably can't see, huh? Let's see. Let me just get this started. And then we can adjust here. There we go. Thank you for bearing with me. That's hopefully easier to see. Maybe I should come on this side. One of these days I'm going to figure all this out, okay? Get the camera angles down. Thank you for your patience. This is just my third time going live, so I'm learning as I go. But so far, I have absolutely loved having you along on this process these last few days of making these overalls. So I'm very happy that I started doing live, and I'm going to do a lot more of it because I'm really enjoying it. And yeah, I would love to chat. So if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm just here sewing buttons. You know, it's funny. I realized recently that I don't really hang out anymore, like ever, with anyone. That doesn't mean I don't see people and do things and have experiences, but it's like it all has a purpose now. It's not really just like hanging out just to hang out, just to like fill up time or take up space in the day, or because I'm bored or I don't know what else to do or anything like that. It's really, if I'm seeing people or doing things, it's very intentional and there's like a meaning behind it. Yeah, so these days, like if I'm getting together with a friend, I notice that we're actually in a constant state of creating or collaborating. So, I mean, we laugh because we get together as friends, and it also ends up being that we create together, or, you know, we're working on a project together. And so we laugh because it's like, this is a business meeting, you know, and it actually is. We are building something, generating something, working towards something together. And that feels really good because then when we get together and spend time together, you know, it's so much deeper than hanging out. It's like really building new worlds together in the way that you only can with others, and to like take full advantage of that in the moment, and, you know, use the preciousness of the time that you have with each other to like spark each other and collaborate and create something new in the world. That feels really good. That's the kind of hanging out I'm down for. But if it's just like shooting the shit or gossiping or just making small talk, it's like I can't anymore, you know? And yeah, I mean, that feels like a privilege to even be in a life where I have a choice, you know? um, yeah, about how to spend my time, who to spend it with, um, having a choice too about which thoughts I allow in, you know, because it is so easy to connect with others through commiserating, trauma bonding, or gossiping, talking about other people. But like true connection, true relationship, a true friend, a true partner is when you can be with that person and be fully talking about ideas, you know, and not other people. And you can talk about your feelings and your dreams and your deepest longings, and that's the subject matter of the conversation. That's really beautiful, you know. And then you get spoiled and you can't go back to anything less. So shout out to all of you out there who are activating, you know, yourselves and each other into these deeper ways to relate, you know, setting the bar high, holding the standard high of how to spend our time and with whom, and yeah, have it really mean something, you know, because our time is precious, especially for us artists. You know, we're at our best when we're creating, and many artists, if not most, have this really tender heart, and so they want to give that creative energy towards others, and that's a beautiful thing. And it may be like one of the hardest things an artist ever does, to pull that energy back within and actually give it all to the art and the work and the process, and like to yourself and what you're here to birth. Because what we come up against is that like it feels selfish to do that, and that's a hard one, especially for like people pleasers. You know, it's a real desire to make everyone happy, or to, you know, to please everyone. But then we find out it's actually impossible. So we might as well really give ourselves everything we've got. Like, that's all that matters at the end of the day. Each one of us is here to bring something to the world that's never been done before. I mean, no pressure. But like, for real though, you know, like you watching this right now, just know, if you don't already know, you are here to do something great. Absolutely. And that life, and like devoting your time and energy to that purpose, that thing that you're here to do, whew, that's when the boundaries come in. Boundaries have to come in for the artist who is ready to go like balls to the wall with their art, you know. You have to get so vigilant and protective with your time, with your energy, because you realize that what you're protecting is very precious, and it's worth protecting. Like that seed of creation that lives in you, that is longing to be expressed through you the way that only you could. It's never going to let you rest until you say yes to that thing. Because that's your soul, you know, that's your soul knowing what it wants to experience, and sort of planning it in a way. You know, how they say destiny is the free will of the higher self. That's a bit of a paradox, right? Because it's like, is it predestined or is it free will? Well, what if it's both? Like, what if the soul, you, your deepest, truest essence, chose exactly what you wanted with your sovereign free will, and then now your human experience is to find your way to that through your own free will, to meet up with the free will of your soul, which was like the destined path, you know, like the thing that I was always meant to do. And when you step into that stream, then that's true abundance, you know, to be fully engaged with life, in your bliss, honoring your creative spark, pursuing that you, only you could do, the thing that you came here to do. Okay, so we've got one button on each side. And now I'm going to change thread colors. I don't know if you guys are here for this, all this rambling, because you probably thought this was like an upcycling channel. And it is. But you know, I'm here and just sharing what I've got. Which is not for everyone. But you know, you're just hanging out in the Elfin workshop with me, so this is what we would be chatting about if you came over to my home and we had tea, and I would ask you all about yourself. So please do share here in the comments where you're from and how you ended up here, and maybe like what this conversation is sparking for you. I would love to hear. Okay, so this first button, it's gonna give us like the widest fit, and then I'm gonna add another button there that will give a tighter fit if somebody wants to tighten it up a little bit. So the good thing is this will fit a range of sizes. Look how cute the back is. Oh my gosh, I love it with the ring. I think it came out so well. Okay, another button, here we go. I should switch to this side now. Oh my gosh, you see what I just did? I'm so silly. I just went around. Oops. Okay, my dears. Now we have a complete side with the two little buttons. Super cute. And then we'll just add one more over here. Get in that hole. There we go. Okay. There you go. Okay. I don't know if you can see how cute this little detail is, because we have the white iridescent thread on the green and the green iridescent thread on the white. And probably most people would never notice. But, you know, that's the kind of stuff that makes me happy, is that we alternated the colors. So, let's see if I can close on this one. Oh yeah, that's so cute. I'm so happy with that. Okay, time to do the paint splattering. Okay, let's put this away. Okay, so this is my box of paints. Hi, Deborah. Oh, it's so lovely to meet you. Thank you for stopping into the Elfin workshop. Welcome to my home. Welcome to the fairest realm. We're making some overalls today, and I'm about to add the paint splatters, which is definitely, it's come to be a signature part of my process. It just adds this extra layer when everything else is done and finished and it's even washed and dried. Like the final step is like this fairy blessing of some little sigils. So I'm actually wearing a piece today that I had done. So this robe originally was a gift to me, and it was a solid color light blue. And you know, it's so beautiful. I mean, look at the back. This is all hand painted. And the thing is, I was like almost terrified to wear it because I was like, what if I stain this like precious robe that was gifted to me? That's like such a special thing that I wouldn't want to like ruin it, right? So after a while, I realized something I would want to do to kind of roughen it up or like add some dimension would be to dip it in indigo. So my friends and I created a vat of indigo, and this is one of the pieces that I kind of ceremonially dipped in the indigo. So that created all of this variegation of the blue, where already then it would be much harder to tell if you stained on it, right? But then even then it still was feeling a little bit too like one-dimensional. So I came in with all the iridescent paints and added these everywhere. So there's little sigils and stars. You know, it's kind of like the fairy language or the language of children, or like finger painting on a wall. It's just very free form and intuitive. And some of the shapes would even surprise me. It's like I wasn't trying to make any kind of design, just very sort of paint splattered with a few little stars maybe, or little flowers. But this was really just to bring in so much color and texture and pattern and movement that I could feel free to wear it and just like, you know, wear it anywhere, wear it everywhere, and yes, not be afraid to just use my favorite things. You know, so many of our favorite things we like keep special and put it away, but then we never end up using it. And you know, the whole point is to have fun, right? And like use what we've got. So I have, okay, the fabric paints that I love are from Jacquard, or Lumiere by Jacquard. They make these beautiful high pigment iridescent fabric paints in like these jewel tones. I mean, look at this green. Oh, it has like a gold shimmer in it. A really pretty pink. Oh, look at this purple. Oh my gosh, they just like glow. You know, and I can turn these into pastels by just mixing in white. And they have of course, an iridescent white. Where did it go? That one actually might be finished. But they do make an iridescent white, so you can keep it the shimmer theme. And then you can use the colors at like the full pigment or a softer version, and they work really, really well. And a little goes a long way. You know, you don't need much to paint splatter a garment. Also, one of my favorite things for paint splattering is even just white, like a white fabric paint, or even just white acrylic paint. It doesn't have to be fabric paint per se. White splatter looks really good on a lot of things. You know, it looks like, yeah, you were painting white and got a little on yourself, and it just, I don't know, it just makes everything look cooler, I think. But more than that, more than the look or the aesthetic on the outside, it's the deeper permission to just wear your clothes and, you know, not worry, right? Because if something's already a little like stained up and paint splattered, then like, what's the worst that could happen? What, get more paint on it, get a stain on it? It's like, it's already like that. So yeah, and I hope that, like, you know, to wear something that's already paint splattered, it's an inspiration and an encouragement to, to to get creative, to paint, to pull out your art supplies and wear this paint splattered piece almost like as a smock, right? Because you could, you know, spill on it, splash on it, and it's just gonna add to the beauty. So I feel like I get it started for you, and then my hope is always that you'll keep adding more patches and more paint splatters and more stains and more stories, most importantly. So I have a little palette here that sometimes I use, but if I'm just doing a paint splatter, sometimes I just use the lid or even go like right in the bottle. Don't tell my art teacher, which oddly enough is my mom. My mom was my art teacher because I was homeschooled, and she's amazing, by the way. You would really love her. She's an artist, and she's a very amazing mother and an amazing teacher, and I'm so lucky that she was my art teacher. And I'm just joking that not to tell my mom, because she's always approving of my very childlike way of doing things. Like, I don't really have a lot of technique to anything or any special tools. Yeah, just I keep it pretty rudimentary over here. It's just whatever works, you know? There's no rules. No rules, that's what I'm all about. So, like, you could use any brush, you know, you could use a little thin brush and get some fine lines. You could use a thick brush and get some really cool brush strokes. That would actually be really cool. Like, I don't know, like 2 inches wide. You know, Mako, honey, you're right under my feet again. Okay. You know, you could get like some broad brush strokes going, or like horizontal. Oh my gosh. Okay, now I'm having this idea for another pair of overalls that could be all like that. Like, all of the pattern could come from brush strokes going in different directions. Okay, we'll have to try that next. We'll put a pin in that. We'll focus on this. So upcycling, turns out, is like really good for people with ADD, or maybe it's the other way around. Anyone with ADD is really good at upcycling. Let's go with that. So basically, it's your superpower, right? If you start upcycling or creating like this, where everything is just like make it up as you go. If you've ever been like diagnosed with ADD or ADHD or any of those things, like, you will discover that it is a superpower when you find out like what it's for, you know? Because, like, yeah, I am very ADD, but it really comes in handy when it comes to upcycling, because I have so many thoughts and ideas, and, you know, I'm okay to pivot from one thing to another. And maybe it's a little chaotic and it's not linear, but you know what? It makes me who I am, and that's something. Okay, here I go rambling again. Well, now I'm gonna go nonverbal while I just do these little strokes, because I'm gonna be channeling some love and some intentions and some fairy sigils and just some codes, you know, the fairy frequencies and some blessings for whoever this overall ends up being for. They're gonna be coded with a lot of love. So Okay, so I just try to keep it like as organic as possible so that it, has the feeling of if you were just in your studio painting over some time and you actually, splattered paint on yourself. So you saw me probably switching hands. I can be a little bit more free form with my left hand. My right hand is, when it thinks it's in control, it might try to do its own thing. But the left hand, because that's my non-dominant hand, so I can get more of like a free form feeling, and access my inner child and just be messy and let it be and not overthink it. Because that's the thing about paint splattering, is if you overthink it, that's just, I don't know, it makes it harder, But if you just go with it, then it actually turns out better. It looks cooler. To just be free with it. So yes, let me give you a little bit of a close up here. Okay, so this actually means that these overalls are complete. The last thing to do is add the label, the Fairest Realm label, and then post them on my website and send them out into the world to the person that these were made for. And maybe that's you. So if so, you can go to thefairestrealm.com. I'll put the link below. And yeah, that's it. Got a little paint on myself. We call this fairy fingers. The fairy will likely always either have dirt under her nails, some paint on her hands, and on her clothes, some glitter on her, at all times, pretty much. Well, thank you for being on this journey with me through these overalls from start to finish. I'm so happy with how they came out, and I will forever be grateful to these overalls because they started me on this journey of going live, and I'm on day 3. So far so good. I'm still learning. I'm still getting the hang of this. Oh, Deborah, you said, oh yeah, overthinking is my specialty. Girl, me too. Yes, but we are transcending that. We are reclaiming the freedom and the feralness of our inner child and letting her run wild and be free and have fun because, we've been self-critical long enough. We've been there, we've done that, and now we're trying something new. Okay, my dears, well, we're just at about an hour, so that's great. Before I let you go, I would love to give you the reading of the card we pulled at the beginning. So this is the Reishi card. It's a card of retreat. So let's see what this message wants to say. This is the herbal astrology deck, by the way, which is really lovely. It's like a little pocket deck. It's nice and small and cute, but she's potent. She's small but mighty, this deck. Okay, so the Reishi card is a card of retreat, recovery, meditation, hibernation, spiritual contemplation, replenishment of spirit. Reishi represents immortality, and is considered the herb of spiritual potency, meaning success, well-being, divine power, and longevity. Well, this is interesting because we started this live talking about immortality, talking about heaven on earth, and what would we do if we arrived in heaven and were given all of eternity and infinite time, right? Which is the biggest gift of all. Then what would we do with ourselves? What would we do with all of that time? And the beautiful thing about creating and being an artist is, like, it's the work that's never done. It's the thing that there's always more of, right? So if you're engaged in a creation process, you'll literally never be bored. You'll never run out of things to do, and you then are embodying that immortal being, right? Who's just creating in many different forms. You know, while we're human, we're creating in a tactile way. But even in our spirit form, we're creating in the ether. We are always creating on a soul level. So it's a beautiful thing to tap into that immortality while we're still in these bodies, you know, and claim that inheritance and just bring heaven to earth. We do not have to wait for it until after death. We can just be that now and have heaven here. Said to have been discovered in 396 BC in the Changbai Mountains of China by Taoist monks. It is one of the oldest mushrooms used in medicine. Reishi helps stabilize qi in the head and assists in mental activities, increases wisdom, and improves memory. Long-term consumption will lighten the body, increase vitality, and delay aging for years. Mushrooms are so amazing, man. It's like truly the medicine is right under our feet. Reishi's borderline miraculous properties. Yes, we have miracles right under our feet. The mushrooms are miraculous, indeed. Reishi's borderline miraculous properties are being researched, verifying ancient knowledge. See, we already knew, but science is catching up. One of the many reasons spiritual seekers consume this mushroom is for the spiritual experience it unlocks when in meditation. Reishi powerfully influences our main spiritual centers, the endocrine, nervous, and hormonal systems. Reishi is ruled by Jupiter, the guru of planets, the one that dictates how we derive wisdom and access to the mysteries of life. Okay, so the guidance of this card. Pause. It's time for renewal. If you feel overwhelmed or mentally overloaded, it's time to retreat. Take the time to recuperate and recharge, and personal growth will follow. Overstimulation and indecision lead to a sense of weakness, imprisonment, or a feeling that you are evading death. Like the bear, hibernate or rest before you take on the next project or challenge. Many Native American tribes have called this space of inner contemplation the Dream Lodge, a place to witness death and see beyond the confines of physical reality by visiting the dream time. Create the space to be in silence and calm the internal chatter. Reflection is key to the path of self-mastery. Well, I hope that resonates. I hope that landed for someone. And yes, I'm sending you off with that calmness and a soothing retreat until we meet again. I'll be live this week again, and you can follow me on Instagram as well at the Fairest Realm. And I hope to see you again here soon. This is so fun. I can't thank you enough for being on this journey with me and hanging out with little old me in my Elfin workshop. It's truly a pleasure. I'll see you soon.